The relationship between Deshaun Watson and Cleveland Browns fans has clearly reached another level, and this time the issue wasn't just what happened on the field. During Cleveland's 31-7 preseason loss to the Buffalo Bills on August 22, 2026, Watson was booed loudly by the home crowd after entering in the second half. The reaction became even louder after Watson struggled, completing only 5 of 12 passes for 36 yards while throwing an interception. But what really pushed this situation over the edge was Watson's response afterward, because he described the treatment as disrespectful and personal. He also pointed back at the same Cleveland crowd and reminded everybody that fans had cheered when he suffered a season-ending Achilles tear there 2 years earlier. Watson admitted that he underestimated how his charity work, public transparency, and lengthy rehabilitation would be received by the community. From his perspective, the resentment coming from Cleveland fans clearly goes beyond his performance as a quarterback. And you can understand why the contract continues to be part of this conversation, because the Browns gave Watson a fully guaranteed 5-year, $230 million deal in 2022. The team recently restructured that contract by turning most of his 2026 cash into bonus money, but Watson is still owed a massive $46 million payout in the final year. So when the production doesn't match that kind of commitment, the frustration from the fan base becomes pretty obvious. At the same time, Watson is dealing with a training camp competition against teammate Shedeur Sanders for the starting quarterback job, which only adds more pressure to the situation. Shedeur Sanders came to Watson's defense, while Ty Monken offered a much more direct dose of reality when discussing everything in his press conference. Because when the fans are already booing you at home and another quarterback is competing for your job, every performance carries even more weight. And that's why this isn't simply about one preseason game or one loud reaction from the crowd. Watson believes the hostility has become personal, while the fans are clearly judging everything against the enormous expectations attached to that contract. So now the reactions from all three sides tell us where this situation really stands.
Man, I didn't have no reaction. I think the biggest thing is, I think you guys know too, and I think the whole world knows, it has nothing to do about the performance. It's a little bit personal than that. So I think that's it's a disrespectful thing. So yeah, I mean, I'm gonna keep whatever I feel with me and my family internally on how I feel about that. And yeah, just move on.
But don't you think, Deshaun, that winning and playing better would eliminate some of that booing?
Last time I played on this field, I tore my Achilles. And that same fan base, they cheered when I got hurt. So does that have to do with, what does that have to do with anything about performance? When a person get hurt, especially for your own city, and they cheer.
Does any of that make you regret coming here?
Nah, I don't regret anything in my life. You know, I think the Lord put me through situations for a reason, so I don't regret anything at all. But you know, I had different thoughts on how it was gonna be, but you know, it is what it is. You know, sometimes, you know, the tables turn, and I'm patient enough because I'm a child of God to, you know, wait for that time to change. So I'm not tripping on it. I'm not tripping on it. I don't know. I mean, the only time I feel that energy is when I'm in the stadium or it's on social media. Like I mentioned before, when I'm in public, no one's mentioned anything. So I think that's the only time those people that's holding it in is trying to, you know, disrupt the energy. You know what I'm saying? Because this is a social media, players can't respond back. And then in the stadium, you know, players can't respond back. So I get it. I understand it, you know, so it is what it is.
Quarterback, you're gonna take two more. Quarterback job is tough enough. Can you defeat that negativity?
I don't know. You know, it's a mental battle every day. You know, I feel like I get more love on road games than I do home games. So if it is my spot and he does make me the name, maybe it's 17 away games then. I don't know.
You know, how did you do that with Deshaun today, or did you do that?
Yeah, I mean, well, in general, I don't appreciate that at all. Just regardless, competition, we all human beings. And I think we all need to understand that, you know, in this room too. We all humans. So it's like, I don't really do things to humans I wouldn't really want done to me, you know, and I don't really like making people feel uncomfortable in different spaces, and that's why even sometimes like daily things I do, like I try to make sure everybody comfortable, you know, because a lot of things, just even how I am as a person, sometimes can make people uncomfortable, you know. So, I mean, I'm obviously aware of that, and just for all the fans and everything, like we appreciate y'all and showing up and everything. And however y'all feel about the situation, about with Deshaun and about everything, like still, you know, I think it's more about a bigger purpose of just respect. You know, it's just a respect thing that I feel like should be there, because we all out there trying to do our best and trying to serve the franchise the best way possible. We going out there to win games. We doing everything we can do. So, you know, I don't really appreciate that.
Hey, how's it feel to get booed? I mean, it's a pretty easy question. It sucks. I don't want to get booed. It comes with the territory. You don't want to get booed? Let's play good football. Let's play good at quarterback. Let's play good on offense. Let's play good as a team. And then you don't have to worry about all that, because it can turn just like that. Win, play good football, and everybody will be fine. That's just part of it. I mean, so I told him, you good? We're good. Part of what we do.
What do you see on the
Brown fans in general, they haven't forgot the incidents.
No.
The incidents that happened while you were at Houston, they haven't forgot that. That's for one. That left a bad taste in their mouth. You come here, you get guaranteed money. You get hurt, not once, but you get hurt twice. So therefore, they understand that you haven't been able to give us anything on the field if you got hurt, not once, but you got hurt twice. Therefore, they're going to feel that way. What you can do as a player, there's one thing. You want fans to stop booing? There's one thing that cures
Performance.
One thing.
Performance.
Huh?
Yeah.
Playing better and winning. Playing better and winning. Boy, you hear the louder cheers you never heard before. If they get something they haven't gotten in a very long time. Consistent play at the quarterback position and W's at the end of games. That's all they care about. Those boos will turn into cheers and they will be happy. They don't care about nothing else. Are you going to help our team win? Man, they forget all about that stuff that happened on the outside. All that personal stuff. Yes, it is personal right now. That's why they're booing. They're booing because of the personal stuff, because that's all they have to rely on right now, because you're not doing nothing on the field. That's it. That's all it comes down to. Winning cures everything. Basketball, football, in life, in the corporate world, it doesn't matter what it is.
Man, Ocho smoking too many damn cigars. them folk want to see Shador. They ain't trying to hear that. And I think what Deshaun Watson is dealing with mentally, emotionally, Uncle Ocho, I think it's really messing with him. You know, you hear him talk after the game, and the way he says that the fans is very personal. It's more than football. I don't know mentally if he can. That's why I tell you, I think Shador gonna win the job, bro. I think they gonna end up releasing Deshaun. You gotta let him go, man. They booing the man. He coming the game. He at home, bro.
They booed him last year.
Ocho, you gotta move on. I think if I'm the Browns, I'm gonna put it in Shador's hands, make a break, see what he got for the season. But to come out and say, okay, we're gonna start Deshaun for the first 3-4 games, hell, man, what are we doing? Nah.
Starting the first 3 or 4 games, you go 0-4, then you bring in Shador. Your season's already over.
Yeah.
What's the likelihood of you winning 9 of your next 12 games? You got to it's hard when you get off to a slow start, because wins and losses, it's easy to go on a losing streak. It's easy to go on a winning streak. And normally when you go on one, you stay on that one. And when you go on the other, you stay on that one too. I think the thing, and Deshaun said, when I tore my Achilles, they cheered. But you hadn't given, they cheered. Well, you hadn't given them anything to cheer with your play prior to that. Yes. Ocho, you said winning cures a lot. It is a great deodorant, winning is. But there's still an underlying stench. There's an underbelly that some, no matter what you do, is not going to forgive you for that. And you have to be okay with that.
Yeah.
You got to be okay with that. The mere fact that you say, well, I don't want to tell you what I'm thinking, I'm keeping that between me and my family. We already know what you think.
Hello.
Because if it's something good, what would you share? What we like to do, Ocho? We like to share good news, don't we?
Yeah.
We like to share positivity. That's what we do.
Absolutely.
I know Deshaun a little bit, so I take that out of the equation. But I also understand the human element on the other side of it.
Yep.
So take the relationship I have with Deshaun, set that to the side. Now look at it from a pure fan's point of view. You come to our city, my team, given the situation, what had happened. Okay, whatever that case may, whatever that is. Now you losing. We ain't win no games. You came here to win. We not winning. So what you want me to do? Now I don't agree with that cheering that somebody get hurt. I don't think you should cheer if the opposing player gets hurt. That's classless.
Right.
That's Bush League. I don't care what the fan base is.
Right.
You don't cheer somebody else's misfortune. You don't do that. That's low. I don't care if that's your staunchest rival. Raiders, Kansas City, I would have been very disappointed if the Bronco country had cheered for someone to get hurt from the opposing team. You don't do that. I got no problem if they boo it, because they're booing for a reason.
Yeah.
Because I've heard them cheer so many times, but it's normally we've given them something to cheer about.
The bigger issue here is that Browns fans seem to be making it pretty clear they don't want to wait until Week 4 for Shedeur Sanders to take over. They want Sanders to open the season as the starting quarterback, and that's becoming harder to ignore. Normally, when a team has invested the kind of guaranteed money Cleveland gave to Deshaun Watson, people assume the organization is going to make sure it gets something out of that investment. But the Browns haven't put nearly as much into Shedeur, and that could actually make giving the younger quarterback a real opportunity the better move for the team. If Shedeur starts the season, goes 2-2 through 4 games, and looks good while doing it, that youth movement could make more sense than bringing Watson back simply because of his contract. With Watson's age, injury history, and the baggage surrounding him off the field, being mediocre isn't really enough to justify giving him the Week 1 job. He would have to play at an elite level to make that decision easy, because since everything happened, Watson simply hasn't looked like the same player, and the fans aren't being given much reason to ignore everything else surrounding him. That's why the personal side keeps coming up. Fans are fanatics, and what they ultimately want is to see their team win. Winning can make people overlook things they otherwise wouldn't, because when your team is succeeding, you're naturally going to defend the player helping you get there. You see the same thing in sports, music, entertainment, and basically any form of show business. When somebody you support is performing at a high level, fans will sometimes defend them against things they normally wouldn't defend. But Watson isn't giving Cleveland that reason right now. From the fans' perspective, they have a young quarterback they want to see get a legitimate opportunity, while Watson is carrying baggage and hasn't played well enough to justify simply putting him back into the lineup after years of injuries. Cleveland has also moved on from Myles Garrett, so there's an argument for letting the younger players become the direction of this team going forward. But there's another thing worth remembering. Shedeur Sanders isn't going to be protected from this either. If Sanders struggles once he gets the job, Browns fans will boo him too. And if he eventually earns a fully guaranteed contract, plays well at first, gets paid, and then his performance drops off, he could end up dealing with the exact same reaction. So this isn't necessarily something unique to Deshaun Watson. It's more about where Watson currently stands in his career. And right now, Cleveland fans clearly aren't giving him much room for error. At the end of the day, the money attached to a player is going to shape how people judge him, especially when that player received a massive payday. Deshaun Watson got that big contract, and now he has to accept everything that comes with being paid at that level. That includes the off-field attention, and at this point, that's simply part of his reality. And honestly, this wouldn't necessarily be different if Watson were playing somewhere else. Cleveland may be making it louder because their fans clearly want Shedeur Sanders starting in Week 1, but if Watson is the quarterback anywhere and the team looks destined for mediocrity, you're probably going to see the same type of reaction. That's the standard that comes with being the highly paid quarterback. So now Watson is dealing with the boos, the $46 million still owed to him, and a quarterback competition with Shedeur Sanders, while Ocho and Shannon are openly breaking down exactly where things stand. And somehow Sanders hasn't even needed to say much about football to come across as the guy Cleveland wants leading the team. Apparently, Watson believed his charity work and transparency would help him earn some goodwill from Browns fans, but that hasn't happened. The reality is pretty simple. Winning gives you brace, and Watson hasn't given Cleveland any wins to hold on to. So now the Browns have a decision to make about whether Shedeur Sanders should take over in Week 1 or whether they give Watson one final opportunity to prove himself, because whichever direction Cleveland chooses could determine whether this situation finally settles down or becomes an even bigger problem throughout the season.